Hello, happy Monday, and welcome to the Guiding Light Small Business Podcast. Today, we were going to have an attorney on that has been rescheduled. So thank you for coming in. But what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about some of the common questions that we get asked. And our hope is to be able to provide good information that you can use whenever you're making your marketing decisions, what you devote your time to, things like that. So we're going to be talking about websites, social media, search engine optimization. We're going to be talking about all of it. So stay tuned. And if you are joining us live, please do post your questions. We will try to get to those as we move forward. We are on Facebook Live as well as on our Crowdcast channel. If you do have questions after the event, please do post those. We will go ahead and answer those as well. So let's go ahead and jump right in. First of all, our question is, how do you use social media to get the word out about your company? This is a pretty loaded question, but let me try to summarize it. At the end of the day, you want to be able to know, one, who your customer is. Who is it that you're actually going for? Once you have this little tidbit of information, then you can target those people on social media and deliver the messages that they need or want to hear. If you know who your customer is, you know what their pain points are, and you know the types of things that they're needing. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing is that social media is all about engagement. Okay. And with the changes that Facebook has made, they are trying to encourage engagement. So if you know your customer, you know what they want, you know what their needs are, you have the ability to be able to post content that they will like, they will share, and they will engage on. So don't think that social media is just, oh, let me just post something because I can't think of anything to post. You need to get strategic with it. Each social network is a little different, so you'll need to know the differences between those. We did do a social media podcast back a couple weeks ago. Definitely take a look at that, and you can find out a little bit more about each social network and how they basically broadcast you, as well as the type of information you'll post on those networks. Okay. All right, next question. How can I find more local customers? If you are a local based business, meaning that you are looking for customers either to come into your store, or perhaps you're a service based business that needs more phone calls, things like that. So that way you can either, you're an HVAC or a plumber or something like that, to where people actually call in and say, hey, I got a problem. Can you come fix it? Local based customers, social media is one of the bigger ones, but make sure that you come up where they're searching for you. People no longer use the yellow pages. If you are doing anything on the yellow pages, definitely pull it back. Yellow pages does have online presence that you can do, but pull back on your yellow page stuff. Make sure you have a Google My Business listing established, that your profile is complete, you've set your hours, you've uploaded images, you've explained your services and exactly what you do. The important thing to understand is that people use social media, they ask for recommendations from friends. They also use Google if they're looking for things. So you'll want to be in both of those places pretty prominently. Recommendations from people are not as easy to get. It's a good idea to get involved with some local networking groups that you can be involved with. And these people are kind of like your advocates. They'll get on social media, and when their friends are asking for recommendations, they can mention you. I know BNI, we've talked about that one, your local chamber. Those are really good ones. They've also got meetups that are coming, and they're a lot more popular than they used to be. The big thing is that you have to do is, no matter what you do, whether it's networking, social media, whatever, you have to make sure and engage and truly connect with the people that are part of those groups. People aren't going to recommend you if they don't know you and you haven't truly connected with them. So make sure that you're doing that above all, and then the recommendations will follow. Now, Google My Business, you have a little bit more control over, and we did just do a blog post about that. You can check out the website and look at the one on local search. It talks about Google My Business, as well as local searches, what you need to fill out. You definitely need to be looking at reviews as people are looking to have services done or do business with somebody locally. They are searching. Google broadcasts your reviews. If you have no reviews or low reviews, that can impact the amount of leads you're getting from local searches. If you need some help with that, I mean, definitely let us know. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions on that part. Okay, another one. How will press releases benefit my business? The person asking this was looking at a blog post that was written about 4 years ago. And at one time, you've heard us talk about the old way of search engine optimization. Well, a lot of the new ways now are, well, the old ways. Let's go back to that. Press releases were used to help businesses build up their links that they have going out, as well as mentions of their business. This is still a good tactic to use. However, we do it very differently than we did then. Google did an update probably around 2 or 3 years ago. I need to look back and see the exact date that was done. They did do an update that penalized businesses that had, I'm going to call them junky press releases that were just about nothing. Okay. So if you have like a new employee, if you have a new product, if you have a new service, if maybe an existing service has changed in some way, some reason why you would have to actually do a press release, then I could see adding that to your website. That's the key. There are some press release submission sites out there, but you need to get really realistic about this. If you would contact a news reporter about this, it's a good idea to go ahead and submit it. If not, don't worry about it. If you're a large company and you have a new employee and you feel like it's going to strengthen your brand, I would come closer to doing that as an actual press release where you submit it to press people to include inside their blogs or their newspaper. But a lot of times these old press releases that were done about 4 years ago or so. Good morning, Marianne. How are you? I'm glad you could make it. Are you wanting to come on with me? That way I'm not talking to myself. Okay, the press releases that were out there about 4 years ago or so just are not what you want to look at. So when you are looking at press releases, make sure and look at any information that was posted like within the last year or two, and that's going to be about the best route that you can take. The next question that we get asked pretty often is how often should a post or an article be added to my website? We are big advocates for blogs. Blogs are a way that you can deliver the information to your clients and customers that they're looking for. This is a way that you can strengthen your services, strengthen your brand in other areas. It also does help with search engine optimization. But keep in mind that these articles are meant to serve your clients, not just search engines. Okay. So back about 3 years ago, blogs were more about quantity than quality. Google has come forward and said, hey, we want more quality content on the website. So now what people are doing is rather than just adding kind of the same article, just rewritten a little different on their blog, they're looking for informative content that cannot be found in other places. This is huge. So if you have exactly writing for your clients, Marianne, you got it. You got it. So if you are, let's say you're a landscaper, okay, and you have a website, you are trying to build up your service area business. So you're trying to build up your local search rankings for not only the city you're in, but the surrounding cities that you provide services to. So I'm going to take Houston as an example. Marianne's here. She's from Houston. So Houston is quite big, but it does have surrounding areas. You have Sugar Land, Katy. You have a lot of different areas around there. Now you could tell how long it's been since I've been away, but they have expanded quite a bit. So let's say you're a landscaper in Houston. You also service Katy. What you could do is you could write projects that you've done in Katie. So you do a write-up about the project, what the challenge of the customer was, what decisions you made and why you made those decisions, as well as images about the specific project that you did. And then specify that it was located in Katy. This is one way that you can put content out there about the city that you're trying to build up your local presence in without necessarily having a location there. And Google will look at those and it will help strengthen your local presence in those areas as time goes on. So the more that you post those projects, the better. Another way this landscaper could build up their local presence is to talk about trees and shrubs and flowers and things that are popular for that area. So, we're based here in Mississippi. Hibiscus are really popular here, but they may not be in other places. So he could talk about the different types of landscaping, flowers and trees and things like that that are good for our area. So he might mention Northeast Mississippi. He might mention Tupelo. He might mention the different areas that we have here, as well as the projects that go. So when it comes down to the true answer, how often should I post to my website? As often as you can. The key is to keep it consistent. So if you're able to post once a month, make it a very good quality thing that you do once a month. If you're able to post twice a month, maybe do a really good article and maybe a project that you're working on or that you've done in the past. Videos are also really good for this as well. I kind of got off on a tangent on that. I apologize. It's a good topic. Okay. Where can I get images for my website, articles, and social media? This came up this past weekend with a client. We're building an e-commerce website for them, and they had a logo done. It was supposedly by a reputable printing company. And when I asked where the tree was, if she had like the image for the tree, so that way I could use it in their other branding on their website, she said, "Oh, it was just clip art that we got off of Google. I just about died." I was like, okay, so you've built your branding on probably a copyrighted image. And it just floored me. So when you're getting images for your website, for your branding, your articles and social media, there's a lot of different resources that you can use, and I'll post the links down below. Okay, so if you're running or whatever, don't worry about writing it down. We'll get it for you. So Pexels is a good one. PEXELS.com is a good one. I also like Pixabay. These are both free resources that you can get to get images and such for your website and social media and also your articles. The key to those is make sure, Unsplash is good too, Marianne. The key to these is that whenever you save the image, make sure and save the source. So if it was Unsplash, you would write Unsplash dash, write the date that you got it, and then keep the file number that's included as part of the file name already in there. You'll also want to include what it is if it's not already part of that. So that way you can search for things. If you're looking for, for a landscaper, if you're looking for pictures of flowers, you can find the flower that you've actually downloaded. That's one thing to keep in mind. Now, there's also, if you cannot find them on the free websites, it's a good idea to go ahead and say, okay, I need good pictures, so I'm going to invest a little bit. There is, we love Adobe stock, but then you also have Fotolia. You have, what's the other one, Marianne? My mind's just drawing a blank. Is it, I'll post the link later. The key to these is to remember that when you get a paid subscription to these, you are getting credits that you can use every single month. Okay. So if you do like social media images, they don't have to be large. So don't think you have to download the most high resolution picture. Fotolia does offer the opportunity to be able to use half a credit to be able to download a more web quality image. They're smaller in size and they're ideal for social media and things. So you can get, 15 credits and you have 30 images if you're just using the half credit downloads. iStock is another. That's the one I was trying to think of. And I don't know why I didn't remember that, but I didn't. So if you're going to invest, definitely get into something where you've got credits and some options. Again, make sure that you write down where you got it from, the date you got it, just in case if something comes back. The reason why you don't want to use images from Google is when they're copyrighted. A client of ours, they're a wedding planner. They had some interns working for them. And the intern was writing a blog post about great honeymoon spots. Well, she went on Google, found this beautiful image. It was pretty rocks around it, had water in the middle with this couple in a boat. It was beautiful. It's the perfect place you would think of if you wanted to go on a honeymoon, right? Well, the client got an invoice for $1,500 for using the image. It was a copyrighted image from a photographer, and he was not too happy about her using the image on her website. So you don't want to use copyrighted images. Just don't do it. You're going to either get invoiced. I've even had other clients where their website was pulled down due to copyright infringement. So there's some repercussions and some consequences by doing so. It's better just to go ahead and go to the free websites, know where you can get those images at, and then use those inside your stuff. Now, I have to say this. It's better if you can use your own images. Always better if you can use your own stuff. But if you don't have it, definitely you can go to these free stock and also paid stock sources to get those. Okay. All right. Getty Images is serious about copyright. Yes, they are, Marianne. They seriously are. I know a lot of people have used those for press, and Getty is huge on that. A lot of times I see people crediting Getty, and I'm pretty sure that that's a requirement to be able to use the image even if you pay for it. Yes, definitely. Okay. Next question. I am a B2B company and I am struggling on social media. You're not alone. Many are. Do you have any tips on generating leads? There is a lady, her name is Sarah, and I'm going to butcher her last name. I know I am. Her name is Sarah. I'll post a link to her website on the notes down below. Sarah is awesome on LinkedIn. If you're B2B, you definitely need to be on LinkedIn. She has a lot of classes about how your profile needs to be complete, how you reach out to people that you do not know, how you can build referrals, things like that on LinkedIn. And she's awesome. I am hoping to have her on the show. She did say she was willing. I was wanting to build up the audience just a little bit more before I brought her in. So hopefully soon I will be announcing her. But on social media, the biggest thing with B2B is you have to be relevant. You can't BS. You have to get straight to the point whenever it comes to B2B. Okay. So when you're posting your content, make sure you get straight to the point, know what it is you want from that person, and push it out there right from the beginning. Nobody wants to be sold on social media. Marianne and I talked about that last week. Nobody wants to be sold on social media. So make sure whenever you're connecting with people on B2B, that when you're saying, I want to get your feedback on maybe a service we provide, or I want to see about possibly working together to build up both of our client bases. And you would do that like with a referral partner or something like that. So the key is to build up your visibility on LinkedIn and on these other social networks where you are promoting your B2B business. As you build up your visibility, your authority will follow as you build engagement. Once you build up your authority, that's when the leads happen. I know I was active for probably about a year and a half before I really started getting leads from LinkedIn. Now I get at least 2 to 3 a month of people asking for help with something to do with either a website, social media, or search engine optimization. So it does happen. It does take a little bit of time. Anytime you're trying to build up your authority on a specific topic. It's going to take time and you talking about it, proving that you are that person that they need to be with. And you also have to be visible at the time that they need you. Otherwise, they're going to forget about you, right? Okay. So here's another one. I get 2 to 3 calls a day from what appears to be Google. Is it really them? I'm going to tell you it is not. These are telemarketers that go out there. I know, tell me about it. I have one client that says, "Are you sure my Google listing is okay?" I'm like, "Hey, have you searched yourself? You're there." "Well, I keep on getting calls saying that it's not." It is, and you're fine. So what happens is these are telemarketers that are generating leads to sell to companies like mine to get you to sign up for SEO services that you probably do not need. So if anybody calls you and it's a robocall, or it's somebody saying, "I'm calling about your Google listing," or "I'm calling about this," hang up the phone. Don't even entertain the idea. It's not Google. I promise you. Google is going to reach out through email first, and it's through the email address that you use with Google My Business. Also, another thing that I tell people is if you are in doubt that it might be Google, Google does not mind if you ask them to prove that they are who they say they are, because they know that the issues are out there. So if you have a suspicion that it may be Google, ask them for their email address. If they give you an email address like Gmail, it's not Google, hang up the phone. Google representatives actually have google.com email addresses. So anytime you do get a call and you have a doubt, maybe, go ahead and ask them for their email address, and that will help. They will also tell you that they are from Google, but these telemarketers will too. So the email address is one thing that will differentiate them from these telemarketers. Okay. How do I know about what to write about in my blog? This goes along the same lines of what we talked about with social media and getting the word out about your company. Once you know who your target market is, you know who your customer is, you'll know their pain points, you'll know their issues that they're dealing with, you'll know the types of things that they need help with. This is what you write about, okay? Like today, we're covering these questions. These are questions that our clients have had, and I'm sure they're not the only ones. So if you find content that, or an issue that somebody has had a question about, expand on it on a blog post, on a social media post, something that you can put out there that shows that you're helping your customers and helping your clients. That's one of the biggest things. Last question. We're about 22 minutes in, so we got about 8 minutes left, and I'll try to keep this one short. I saved it for last just in case. Okay. If you have an e-commerce store and you provide products on that store, where do you get your product descriptions? That's one question that a lot of people have had. So here's my answer, and you're not going to like it. I'm sorry. Do not copy what the wholesaler gives you. A lot of times the wholesaler will give you this spreadsheet, and it'll have like the name of the item, the dimensions of the item. It'll have all this along with the description of the item. You don't want to use that description. You want to come up with your own description. Okay. If you are a wholesaler and you are providing products out there, and search engine optimization is something that's important to you, you're going to want to write different descriptions for your products than what you're giving to your retailers. The reason why is because if you have duplicate product descriptions on your e-commerce, the quality of those products actually go down in ranking as far as search goes. So think about, again, if you know who your customer is, you know what their issues are, you know what their concerns are, that's what you're going to want to include inside your product descriptions. So what problem does it solve? What issue does it overcome? What benefit would the customer have by getting this product from you? And what benefit would they have? That's the biggest thing that you want to try to overcome with these product descriptions. And also think about it. If you're selling a $5 product or a $5,000 product, what's going to compel them to pull out their credit card? What information do you need to provide on that product description that does it? If you look at Amazon, what do they look at? People look at reviews, people look at the product description, they look at the questions and answers that people have had about that particular product. So, those are the types of things that you're going to want to definitely provide on your product descriptions. Now, Marianne just asked if we offer writing services. Yes, we do. We do offer those. So the big thing that you want to try to do is compel that person to pull out their credit card or click the button and check out via PayPal. Whatever your goal is for that particular product, make sure that your product description and everything supports it. That's the big thing. Okay, I was looking to see if we had any other questions come in through Facebook, and we do not. So awesome. If you guys have any other questions that maybe this has stemmed, please do either comment on Facebook, comment on Crowdcast. I will be monitoring for things, or you can reach out to us on social media. Marianne, thank you for coming. Thanks everybody for listening. Next week is going to be awesome. I will send out a link when we have the topic nailed down. I have a couple of ideas in mind. I'm thinking our attorney is going to be here next week, and we're going to cover some things about contract law and some things that you'll want to include in your contracts, especially if you're a service-based business. So thanks very much for coming. Make sure and follow us on YouTube, like us on Crowdcast, and definitely love our Facebook Live event. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks and have a great day.